Hello, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a gorgeous day or night. We're going to get you a little bit of clarity, see what the situation is and what Spirit would like you to know today to be helpful. This is timeless and collective. See what feels like it resonates. Always follow and trust the divine connection because it's in you. Try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition. So your decisions are sound and based in love, for the highest and greatest good of everybody. So we're all uplifted in love. And we're going to start today's reading with the tarot. So let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels and energies of love have for the highest and greatest good of all. Rose is here rolling in the grass. What is the most prominent energy right now for the collective to know today to be helpful? Please and thank you. What is the most prominent message? Foundational energy is that it's about making a decision. It's taking action on something, maybe with another person that gets you really excited, that makes you feel inspired. It could be something really creative. But usually this is you and somebody else choosing to be together. It is two flames. It could be a passionate partnership, but that could also be in business. I usually do see this person as a good business partner. Somebody who's maybe different than you, but it's the creative energies. It's you and this person's fire that get together that makes something sparkle even brighter than maybe individually on your own. It does look like both people are supported here, but there's one person in particular that has the world in their hands. So maybe one of you is connected to something online, or one of you has this plan where it's not just looking at the flat map here. It's like you can almost hold the potential, the possibilities, the spherical perspective on how something could turn around or turn about. It's you deciding that it's time to take the next step, whether that's on a project you're working on with another person, or I'm even getting actually taking steps, like it's physical movement, but I get that it's fueled by a spiritual gas tank. So it could be also where there is new potential and growth on something that you felt was cut down, but maybe what was cut out of your life actually ended up to be a supportive factor, because they're sitting on this stump. So maybe it's maybe you took a back seat too long. Maybe this is you getting in the driver's seat, or somebody that you can go back and forth with. You drive, I drive, I hold the map, you put on the music, taking the next steps. It's bold, ambitious choices. And it's also where you're partnering with others. So maybe, here there's two people, but it could be many other people. But these are partners or people that share your vision. Even if you were the one that came up with the idea, you invite and value somebody else's maybe perception on your idea, or maybe they have something to include. Or I feel like your plans can expand if you allow someone else's viewpoint to come in, because I feel like somebody else has a different viewpoint, a different skill, a different something that's going to basically expand you both. So I do feel like this is going to bring success for not just you, but it's success for you and others, or you and one person. Even if this is you doing something solo, there's somebody out there, somebody you're going to meet, even if it's a stranger, that has some good advice to help you out. Expanding your plans, and it's continuing to move forward. So don't sit on that stump forever. It's time to continue to take action, one step at a time, even if it's 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Still try to keep moving in that forward momentum. Let's see. Clarify the 2 of Rods. Ooh, you got a lot. What's that? What's going on? Oh, you got strength, the Ace of Cups, and the 8 of Cups. This guy is walking out the door. He's got his dog. There's a bunch of cups in that treasure chest, which is remaining open. But there's something about walking through that door, having the strength to start something new, having the strength to be in tune with that spiritual insight, you're gifted, having the strength to go towards, I'm even getting like fun communication or playing a little bit more. Because I always think of the dolphins as playful, good communicators, joyful energy, kind of really being in, I also see them as healers. So maybe this is you stepping out on this journey of self-discovery to heal yourself. If this was upside down, it could have been where you offered that cup of love and it wasn't accepted. So something never really got off the stump, or the plans weren't fueled by actual action behind the underlying love. Maybe you had all this love to give and somebody didn't love themselves enough to give back, or even know how to accept the kind of love that you had to offer. So this could have been a redirection for you. Maybe it was a shut door to get you towards an open one, but you may have had to walk away from a situation. You could have also had to have the strength to allow somebody to walk away from you, because either way, that strength energy is coming in, because it's, I just heard, bringing you on the path to freedom, but it's also expansion. It's also the right people coming in your life when they're supposed to, when your vibes connect. And it's the Eight of Cups is, it's kind of a bittersweet energy. It's very powerful, but it's also a little weird, because it's where you put love, attention, effort, energy into something, someone, a place, a house, a work environment, a project, a partner, whatever it is. You actually put real love into that situation, but then what happens is it's like that box shuts. Something becomes unsatisfying. It stops growing. It stops feeling like it's nurturing itself. It's like somebody unplugged the fountain. So usually somebody has to make the strong choice to leave that situation. Sometimes people do not have the strength to make that choice, and they stay in an unsatisfied partnership or position where it's stagnant and plateaued and there's never any growth, or I actually did hear self-expression, but self-expansion. When somebody finally gets the kahunas to walk out the door and go towards the unknown territory, go in a direction they never went before, continue to take steps forward while they break in those spiritual shoes, somebody is discovering who they were meant to be or who they really are along that path. And usually when they go along that path, whether it feels weird or a little, nerve-wracking, or it feels like it's pulling them in like a magnet, whatever the energy is, it's where somebody goes through that process where eventually it takes you to that Nine of Cups energy. It takes you to that wish come true. It takes you where whoever this is learning they don't need anyone else to fill up their cup, that everything they need is already inside of them. But it took effort on their part to really value who they are, what they had to offer, and where it should be offered. Because when you find that Nine of Cups, it's the wish come true. Sometimes people find their wish come true where they never expected. Sometimes people need to go on a journey to do that boomerang effect, which would be that upside down, to come back on around and discover that they needed to find themselves a little bit, but ended up back at a place that they know, but almost like they are a different person. So even though there may be a familiar place, the connection, the dynamic, who they are, the decisions they make is changed because they allowed themselves that journey of self-discovery. So sometimes it takes a lot of, strength to let something go that you really wanted to work. Sometimes that really sucks. But then you slowly start to see why that was a necessary change, or a necessary decision, or a necessary step. Rose started barking really loud, so I actually stopped the video. I'm gonna go back a little bit and clip that out because it's gonna be very loud on the devices. But let's continue, because it could also be with this Ace of Cups that maybe even somebody offered you that chance for the beginning of a romantic partnership, and maybe they walked out the door you know, before the next steps were taken, or that spiritual fire got really bright, or somebody made choices that were not really in their personal power, but maybe connecting to that cowardly lion instead. It could also be where whoever this is learning to really tap into spiritual insight and using that as guidance on their path or your path. And the more you trust that guidance, the more you connect to your higher self, you know, the stronger the messages get, the more clearer they feel, and the more strength you have to make hard choices and beautiful choices. So let's use all these as the foundation. And let me actually read what these other ones say. So you do have a possible new beginning coming in here. It could be that this is a powerful beginning on new partnerships or soul family or people in your life, a project you're working on, or a beautiful love, a beautiful romance. But maybe you had to walk away from something first. Maybe somebody else had to walk away from something first to end up finding you along this journey. Maybe some of you end up finding each other on this journey and go on this self-discovery, self-growth together, get stronger together. So a beautiful new emotional experience, a romantic relationship, or a deep friendship, awakening of psychic abilities or spiritual insights, a love letter, a new home. That's interesting. I always sort of feel like the Ace of Pentacles is a new home. But if this is saying that there's a new home, maybe it took a lot of strength to move or to leave the luggage or baggage behind. It looks like loyal energy is still coming with you. I feel like this has something to do with being true to yourself or whoever this is. You're only taking what you need with you. You are bringing one cup of love, and that's enough for that Ace of Cups to be filled up by oneself. That's kind of cool. I never actually noticed he had one cup in his bag. But if this is leading you to a new home, or just feeling at home in yourself or at home with a person, this is absolutely a place, an environment, or a relationship that you really love being in. I kind of do feel it's more about at home with a person than a physical space. So maybe for some of you, you end up finding a physical space where you build a home together. Maybe this is new for both of you. It says personal power, maybe also because it's strength. That's a Leo energy. Something could be happening pretty big for you in August, or big changes in August. Look at this lion. It's just like letting its mane blow in the wind. She's holding this crown over this lion, but whoever the feminine energy is here, I mean, she has this halo around her, this energy of spirit and these wings to fly, but she's choosing to be grounded with this ferocious beast, and yet there's this loyalty, there is this trust. Different as these two may be, they're both strong in their own way. Personal power and assertiveness portrayed with kindness. It's that honey on the lion's wound. If you try to force that lion's mouth open, or, you know, go after it, come here, lion, I'm gonna fix your thing. You're probably gonna get a growl from that lion, a roar. Compassion that brings about forgiveness. It could be forgiveness that something never got started, forgiveness that somebody didn't accept an offer, forgiveness in yourself if you took an offer that didn't value you before, forgiveness that you had to walk away from a certain situation that wasn't growing or fulfilling. Realizing that you are stronger than you knew. It doesn't say no, which means that's changing, or whoever this is tapping into. It could also be somebody that has a lot of Leo or fiery energy in their chart, maybe even fire and water. And then this one is, it is a new situation you're walking towards with that new moon. It's a release before something is illuminated. It's a need to move on. I feel like something started as a desire and now it's turning into a necessity. Seeking more from life than what you're experiencing. It's a spiritual quest. It is. I like that they say that. I like that these are kind of like hodgepodge, mix and match, because it's that spiritual, fiery energy combined with that beautiful intuition, insight, and emotional undertone. Choices or choosing to make big life changes. And it's also somebody that's had a change in priority, a change in what they value. And this says leaving home. So I am getting like the heart of a lion. I'm getting home is where the heart is, or home is with a certain person. So you do have somebody that's leaving a home here, and then this says a new home here. So it seems like this is a full circle situation, but I feel like when strength comes through, it comes through when you need it, not when it's an easy situation. So I'm going to clarify all those, but let's take a little segue. I brought the romance angels out. I haven't used these in a while, but since you do have a possible new relationship, even if this is a deep friendship, a business partnership, or romance, let's go to the romance angels and see what would be helpful for you to know. What would be helpful to know from the romance angels, please and thank you. I keep hearing trusting themselves, and that makes me feel like it's somebody else. I mean, that could be your energy, but maybe somebody didn't trust themselves before, or trust the process, or trust that something would work out to its full potential. Maybe somebody didn't trust you. I feel like whatever that lack of trust was, that's really changing. What else would be helpful? Oh, well, you got a honeymoon coming through, so I mean, that would be a fiery situation. That's past the initial, butterflies. That's past the dating phase. That's past the making the plans. That's even after the marriage. So there is definitely something coming through that will be solidified. But even if this is not a person in your life, what gives you that honeymoon kind of energy where something's new and exciting, and yet you're exploring, and it's like you take a break from the, regular everyday world to do something unusual that feels like even a disconnect, or a get to, an expansion, an adventure, or a relaxation. Whatever it is that you feel would be plugging you back in. But I feel like this is you and a certain person getting to spend time together. Whether that's to talk about business plans, maybe even, where a relationship is going. But I feel like it's about, what do we get to do next? Or what do you want to do today? You even have an angel that's rowing your gondola here. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. So maybe there's something that circulates around a holiday. Maybe for some of you, you even meet somebody when you're on holiday, or when you take a little break, or you're on that journey of self-discovery. Whoever this is that you're spending time with, you're having a good time together. You're making memories that both of you enjoy in the moment, but I feel like you're even excited. I see somebody like looking through pictures or showing others, like, look at what we saw when we were doing this. But maybe it's just you reminiscing with this person later about what a good time you had. It does look like that's Venice. Maybe some of you are connected to Italy, or something that's on the water. I don't know why I looked at that and I almost said London. Maybe it could, hey, it could be anywhere. Maybe it's just a river. Wow, I just heard the Rhine. Maybe something in Germany. Wow, that gave me goosies. Maybe that's helpful for someone or connects to, well, I see the Adriatic. I don't know why I want to say Thailand, but like, I just see like a boat almost bobbing up and down in the blue water. I feel like it's like turquoise water. It's so clear you can see all the way to the bottom. I see the bridge in San Francisco. Waves, like I want to say north, Oregon, maybe even farther up, like Alaska. I just saw like South America. I see like Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica. I hear Peru. I just heard the Swiss Alps. Scotland. Is there something in Scotland that looks like it's like a gigantic like cliff and like the ocean's way down there and it looks really cold? Maybe that's like a place. And then I went blank. So maybe some of those are some places that you connect to. Now I see the Great Lakes, Victoria Falls in Africa, and now I see Greece. Wow, that was like the whole world. So maybe some of those places are some ideas for your honeymoon, whether that's something you're planning now or coming up in the future. Those are the places Spirit wants you to know. All right, let's see. I actually just heard Tiki Beach, but I don't even know if that's a real place in the world. Maybe it's just a little beach and you bring the tiki torches yourself. But I definitely see water with all of those. All right, let's see. What else? I guess I started auto shuffling, which means we need another message. What is one more romance message helpful for the collective? Please and thank you. Are there any other messages besides honeymoon? I don't know. Yes. Ooh, that's good to know. So maybe somebody was deceiving themselves on, you know, a person that really makes them happy, or they want to walk away from a situation, or not really recognizing how strong they were. It could also be where somebody tried to prove something, but where they were always wearing a mask in a situation. Maybe for some of you, you actually did have to say no to an offer because your intuition was telling you that there was something behind that mask that didn't kind of smell a little fishy, you know, it didn't feel so true. And maybe that took a lot of strength that you had to, you know, especially if you had chemistry with someone or you wanted to make something work, but then something always kind of felt off. It is telling you to have awareness on this deception. Sometimes this is also self-deception. Somebody not wanting to see the truth, because sometimes the truth takes a lot of strength to face. And that could also be somebody that's not looking at their inner truth, expressing how they really feel. You know, pretending that they don't care, but maybe they care a lot. Maybe they love a lot, but they don't know how to say it. Somebody is wearing a false mask in this relationship. So for some of you, maybe that's not even your situation. Maybe you know, you had spiritual insight on somebody else's situation. There were people around them that I don't know, or maybe even overpowering or keeping that lion on a leash, or pretending that everything was okay, or tried to get something out of somebody. But if you sniffed that out, maybe it was somebody who was used to that smell of fish that didn't want to see something that was right there. I do feel like if that was a situation, you either were the spiritual catalyst for someone to see a situation and go their own way, or I'm actually getting for some of you that could have taken a lot of strength on your part, and it was hurtful that somebody wasn't helping themselves or involved in a big old mess, or people around them that we're kind of even draining somebody else's energy, because, you know, you kind of connect or embody the energy that you keep around you. So with somebody who's keeping family or friends or coworkers or whomever around them, and their energy was wackadoo, that was probably dampering the light on whoever you were connecting to. But if you are connected to someone and you get a big old red flag or a fake phony smile, or, you know, any kind of false energy, or someone's words don't match their actions, be your badass self, and, you know, don't be afraid to walk out the door or shut that door or speak up or make different moves. Take back your cup, fill it up yourself, and hold on to it until you know there's somebody that you feel this blissful energy with, you enjoy your time around, and you know it's the right person to make that offer to. And either way, you have this gorgeous cup. Also, there is something interesting about the mermaid under the water, because you are diving into an emotional situation, but if you have that big cup, it's kind of always full, you know? If it's in the water, the water is always kind of in there. So maybe it's about when you come up to the surface of a situation, or that breaching energy, that you have to be willing to dive back in to fill something up again, or find one of those, you know, one of those bodies of water that came through before, or I see like an endless spiritual fountain. You do have the world there, which is kind of interesting. A bunch of places from the world came through. Let's get you one more. What is one more message from the romance angels that would be helpful on deception and honeymoon? I am also getting that for some of you, maybe you and a certain person, I mean, you have this ace, but if it never got past the ace and the effort wasn't placed consistently in something, it probably never got past or built a solid foundation at all. Maybe there were some experiences, but not enough to last. It's really loud. So for some of you, it could have even been, I actually hear heartbreaking or really hard. If you talked about going to all these amazing places with a certain person, or, you know, what you were going to do together in your future, maybe somebody really painted a beautiful picture of possibility, but never, what is that movie? I'm getting like somebody like actually diving into the painting. I want to say that's like Mary Poppins, like old Mary Poppins. Did that happen? Did they go into a painting? I can't even remember. I'm going way back in the old kid brain files with that. But that's sort of what I see. It's like maybe they had the paintbrush, but they never took that plan and, you know, made something happen. So I don't feel like that's your future, although that could have been a hard lesson from your past. Let's get one more for the collective, please and thank you. What is one more? I also feel like if that was you painted this grandiose, beautiful picture of what you wanted to do or experience with a certain person, and then never made those plans, and you still want to, you know, have those experiences, I feel like it's time to make that phone call. It's time to get past that ace, and hold on one sec, and it's time to, you know, go to that place in the world and pack your suitcase, walk out the door, maybe take just a carry-on, not the big heavy luggage, and make something happen. Follow through. If that was you that wasn't following through. Because I feel like for some of you, you may have gotten somebody's hopes up, and then maybe I see I actually see a balloon like fizzling away, like with a hole on it, like. So what is one more, please and thank you? One more on honeymoon and deception. very soon. So, however long this journey has been, there is something coming in very soon. You have to believe that, you know, the right person's going to have your back, that the right vibration and connection is going to come in, that, you know, you are maybe even learning more about how strong you are as something grows, or the, you know, farther along this journey of self-discovery you or someone else is going. Clearly decide what you want. Maybe somebody just didn't know what they want. They were wishy-washy. They were all over the place. This is somebody getting off the fence and choosing. And this is choosing what you want. Maybe even for some of you, not the specific person, but the attributes, the experiences, the energy that you want to have in your life. Because for some of you, it might take a lot of strength to walk away from what you thought you were going to have, or you thought was going to work out, and be open to God bringing something amazing into your life, even if it is unexpected. I'm getting, but even better than you could have imagined. So imagine the best and leave it open to the universe, open to God, to even to your higher self. Something that you plan to have in your life that maybe hasn't arrived yet, or maybe somebody is arriving back in your life different than they left. I'm gonna pause you one sec. I have to, that was my uncle, and I need to just give him a call back and make sure everything's okay. I'll be right back. Birds, let's jump to the Sacred Traveler. Very appropriate, since all of that energy of travel came through. So let's get you a message from the Sacred Traveler. What would be helpful to know on strength? 8 of Cups, Ace of Cups, 2 of Fire, 2 of Rods. Very soon. I just see the ... and honeymoon, and being aware of deception. What is a Sacred Traveler message helpful right now for the collective to know? Please and thank you. Right now, something's coming soon, but right now you have to begin. It's saying begin now. Now. So whatever you are wanting to make plans on, whoever you want to have a conversation with, whatever that project is you want it to begin, it's time to get off the couch, or even if you're on the couch but you're doing something that you want to be productive with, it's time to do. What do you get to do, not have to do? Take your first step. That's usually the hardest. You know, once you start to move step by step, you know, if your shoes were uncomfortable, you're going to break something in. Something's going to become more comfortable. If you're heading into new territory, you'll map out that territory as you go, or you're going to get to have a lot of experiences along the way. I do feel like you're like taking pictures along the way. Maybe these are just little snapshots in your mind. I feel like you are walking towards memories you're excited to create. The first memory you get to create is taking a step. You know, it does look like you're leaving someone behind, but I feel like there's a purpose behind this journey. Maybe you're gonna end up back where you started, have all these stories to talk about. But I am seeing that some of you have that moving energy. Maybe some of you are moving to a different town, switching jobs. I feel like even for some of you, if you are leaving a partnership, whatever that is, I still feel like there's love here. Like I see like someone going, I wish you the best. You know, call me occasionally, catch up here and there, but I don't feel like there's too much animosity kind of energy here, unless, you know, there is this deceptive energy where someone says like peace. You know, they're pulling the old Irish exit. Now I saw Ireland and Scotland, and they're like, it's just that environment's not for me. I'm gonna, you know, head towards what is best and fulfilling for my soul, or whoever that is. So, you know, your big message here is begin, start, do it. You can do it. So let's go bigger. I forgot I brought these. Let's go as big as the cosmos. and get a cosmos message for you now. So what is a cosmos message? Maybe some of you are getting chickens. I know that's extra. Or you're actually going somewhere where maybe you get to connect to dolphins. I feel like some of you might be doing something with therapy. I also see a dog park here, or maybe you are doing something where there's lions going on a safari. Let's see. I keep seeing the chickens though. Maybe somebody was chicken before. That's kind of a weird message to come through. Maybe somebody wasn't acting in their strength and they were kind of chickening out on making that first step. Let's see. What does the cosmos have to say? What is a message that would be helpful? Oh, please and thank you. I think the bugs are starting to come out. So maybe I should wrap this up pretty soon before I get bit. Vision, sunrise. Ooh, picture that. What would a sunrise look in another galaxy? Would there be two suns? Sunrise in another galaxy. Think from another angle. So if you are only seeing something in one perspective, it's telling you to, you know, I'm getting like, look at the dark side of the moon. Even if you're looking at the other side of the sun, that light's still gonna go out there in the universe. So what is it you get to see when you're looking the other way? But this is another galaxy. This is thinking way outside the box, way in a different perspective. Maybe that's also something that happens from meeting a certain person, or maybe you feel like you're from another galaxy, or it's just looking at something through a different angle. It's definitely going to be seen better without a mask on, but I'm getting that spiral staircase perspective, or the nautilus shell, the Fibonacci sequence. Look at something deeper, look at the underlying connection of something. I'm even getting like, that's way out, but I'm getting that zooming in, a little bit of, you know, quantum mechanics kind of stuff, or maybe sacred geometry, the basic shape of something. I see something that kind of like a snowflake, but if it's that staircase, if you go straight up, or if you're looking at something only 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're always looking ahead, think of now the movement of the universe, which is more like a spiral staircase, kind of, but expanding at the same time and moving forward all at the same time. A little like your chakras. You know, I think of your chakras kind of like cones that go out with a fan that spins inside. I don't know if that's exactly right, but that's kind of how I envision them. So there's something where it starts at a point, but then you get to expand. But as you do that, you get to see every single angle along the way. That gives you such a broader perspective of that spherical plan that you want to act upon than just a check, 2, 3, 4. There's something about the simplicity in each step, but the expansion that occurs when you are flexible to switch something up. So I hope that made sense. I feel like that was very ethereal. So let's go back. Let's go back to the tarot. I think I brought a different one though. Oh, and hold on. I also brought the mystery deck. So let's just, I don't know, get you a few extra bonus for the collective. What's a bonus message? Please and thank you. Oh, it's interesting, because when I said the fire and the water, I did think of temperance, which kind of makes me think of the Goldilocks zone. So it's not too hot, not too cold, just right. The Goldilocks zone, if that's where you're moving, or that's where you are discovering, or if that's within yourself, that's being flexible. That's finding your perfect center. And you know, what's just right for you might not be just right for someone else. I like that. That's also a temperament thing. Maybe somebody has just the right personality or temperament. They're very stable, or maybe they're even exciting, and that kind of, you know, I don't know, pushes and pulls you in the right way, keeps you kind of guessing, because the Goldilocks zone feels like it's comfortable. It's not a comfort zone. It's golden, it's different, its energy is different. I'm also getting that that has something to do with maybe a place you are going to, if it's not a personality or within you. Like I think of some place that has all the seasons, or it's maybe where it's going someplace where it's 70 and sunny, or maybe 70 and sunny all the time is freaking boring and you want to go to the Arctic. You know, you want to go somewhere really hot like a desert. Let's get you another. Well, that's just beautiful. That's the truth. I mean, to give extra love, to have it coming from the right place, never takes away. It never desires anything to come back, because it's a gift. It's a choice. It's just a beautiful energy. So if somebody is going in a situation, I'm kind of getting with this, if somebody was worried about maybe something new coming through in their life, or if I'm kind of getting like somebody new that comes into the picture of maybe an old situation, but maybe that actually is that golden light. Because if somebody comes new into your world, new partner, new in your family, new at your job, whoever that is, if they are, you know, in this energy of golden love and authentic vibration, strength, and spiritual energy, and they know who they are, and they're not afraid to dive in, step up to bat, take a first step and expand, then that's only going to add beautiful energy to the mix, not take away. Love doesn't take away, it just gives. So, one more? Why not? One more. Hayoka. Maybe some of you are the divine clown. I've gone like into this in depth in other readings before. Maybe I'll find a little clipping, but if you feel like you connect to this energy, this is one of the most powerful empaths. It's that person that delivers the truth, the connection they feel to society, or even within, I always say within the village, and they see something. Where's your different perspective? They definitely are the one that, whether it's just that they can feel the energy, or they see something like no one else does. They're not the sheeple here. The Hayoka is the one that sees it different, sees the truth, and yet they have the strength, the kahunas, to deliver it in a manner in which it's heard. Usually with an undertone of humor. Like, hey, you know, it's so funny when society does that thing and whatever, blah, 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 and people are like, oh yeah, that is funny. Wait, what? Huh, and it gets somebody thinking. But sometimes it's such a stigma, or it's so, you know, it's like the taboo thing that you're not supposed to talk about. And they do it in a way where they get away with it. Because, it's just fun. So that's so funny, or that's so weird. But they get away with it and they are heard. Whereas others would not hear it if they're on their soapbox, or they would be ridiculed, or they would be persecuted because they're so different. Whereas it's like the, you know, it's the court gesture, the one that doesn't have like a hand in it. They're not trying to get something out of it. They're just the beautiful little funny earth angel, spiritual angel that brings attention to something, so there can start to be that snowballing of change. So those are your bonus cards. I do have my jazz age, so let's circulate back in time a little bit. And holy moly, I'm a big old mess here on my blanket. Hold on, I'm gonna organize my mess. Hold on. So let's just get a little clarification on some of these messages with the Jazz Age Tarot. Let's ask first about, the beginning, the Ace of Cups, this beautiful offer, romance, psychic insight, and the very soon. Let's put these two together. Actually, the very soon, and let's bulk all these together and put the begin now right in there. So tell us about begin now very soon and a beautiful new emotional experience. What would be helpful for the collective to know? It's you're getting a love message. You got the Page of Cups. Look at the dove, the Holy Spirit, this energy of peace landed right on this girl's hands like she's Snow White. She's like, oh, hey, little dove, how are you today? The other one's just sitting on her shoulder. This is usually where you are falling in love. This is somebody who might not be so confident in a partnership yet, but you're only at the page, you're only at the beginning. So I looked at that at 1414. So it's where you have this gentle energy that you don't know where it's going to turn out, but you're willing to try. You're willing to give something new a go, or someone new a go. You're willing to invest this energy in yourself to rediscover maybe what would be good for you or what you really love in your life, where you are now in your journey. Sometimes it's just a love message. It's somebody that has a little crush or rue on you. It could be a younger energy, but it doesn't look like a kid here. It does look like this person is sweet. They're learning to be more and more in tune with psychic insight and divine inspiration as it comes in. And it looks like they are getting pretty, realistic, hands-on messages that they can feel here. Upside down, it's not really having confidence in your intuition or having all of these feelings and questioning it, second guessing yourself that could be right, or that's really a message that you envisioned. It could also be where somebody has a lot of potential to really open up their heart, but they had their hands closed and everything was tied, and they didn't even, it's like the birds wanted to land and kind of, I don't know, because I'm getting this as spiritual energy, or the Holy Spirit, the Holy Dove, wanted to, just kind of feel comfortable in a situation. And if somebody was uncomfortable and in their feelings, they could have walked away before this beautiful moment occurred. So you definitely have a new beginning, but you have to get into the energy of the night, which is in past the feelings, the feels, into the actual experiences, which bring you to the more solid, stable energy of, the king and the queen, or the emperor and the empress, or the high priestess and the hierophant. So let's ask what you need. Let's ask what you need to know about the weird energy. Let's give it just a little bit of attention for awareness. Tell us about the deception, because, ooh, that was quick. Somebody was deceiving themselves on how they really feel. You have this King of Cups pop through pretty fast, which is somebody more mature than the page. It's not just texting somebody. This is somebody who wants a stable future with someone that they really love, they have real feelings for. If this is somebody upside down and just sitting there in their false phony top hat and their weird mask on at the fancy ass party, it's still somebody that's feeling, I'm getting that they feel really out of place. It's like they got the wrong invite, or they're at that party and it's like, why are they there? Who are these people? Why do they feel so odd in this space? Why do I have to always pretend all of this stuff to, come across that I'm happy? I don't know. Those were like really direct messages, but that's kind of what I get upside down. If this is somebody upside down, they're perhaps emotionally unstable or not emotional at all, but that's still a false front, because the King of Cups feels a lot inside, whether he speaks about it or not. When he's upright, he still has that strength. He has the strength to know whom to open up to and when is the appropriate time, and when to keep something to himself, because he's in tune with that emotional energy, with the whatever the undercurrent of people's energies are. He can kind of feel out that space, kind of like it's all underwater. So if he's at a party, you know, picture it like that watery energy. Where's your dolphin? Where even if there's a little ripple in the wave from over there, or there's a person sitting on the bench over there, but they're giving off weird ass vibes, he's the most in tune with feeling that. So it's staying away from the weird vibes, or knowing if there's positive vibes somewhere else. That's where he wants to swim to, circulate his energy in. I kind of feel like if this is coming through with the deceptive card, this is somebody that was deceiving themselves, probably a masculine energy, you know, no matter what the gender, on how he or she is truly feeling about leaving a situation or starting a new one. Because if it's self-deception, it's in turn going to deceive others around them. Because if they think he's feeling one way, but his truth is not that, that's not just deceiving himself, now that's deceiving everybody. So you got a lot of water energy here. So it could be Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. It could also be where somebody was pursuing somebody that was wearing a mask. It could be that too. It could be that this king had the best intentions for something to be a fine romance, long and lasting, but maybe somebody was more like that upside down magician with the big old, you know, magic hat, pulling their tricks out of the hat. Like, oh, here's the money in the hat, you know, or here's this parlor trick. It's kind of like superficial, burnt out, overdone. The trick was exposed. Then somebody who's tapping into that spiritual energy. I feel like with the white rose, this might have something to do with friendship. Let's clarify, actually let's clarify the king. Tell us a little more about the king. Why is the king coming in? Ooh, what is that? Guess what it is? Oh, hold on. These interruptions, we're just gonna keep going. Luckily, Rose right here wasn't right in the camera loud, so I just paused that one. We're gonna continue. Guess what came through? What did I say before about the page? Somebody's progressing. Somebody wants to progress. They don't want to be in the energy of deception. They don't want to be around deceptive energies. They don't want to be deceiving themselves. Somebody literally, maybe somebody had to go a little bass backwards. Maybe somebody really had to first believe that they're supposed to be the king. They're supposed to be in that quiet, beautiful power. But in order to do it, they have to get past that message, get past the potential, put on that suit. Weird as it might look, maybe take off that suit if it's too heavy and just dive down in your skivvies, your banana hammock, or see somebody like skinny dipping instead. But I feel like with this, it's somebody that can recognize they can actually breathe better under the water, or there's potential to breathe in a situation that is emotionally stable, secure, and enticing. I'm getting enticing, whereas maybe before somebody cut off their air supply. Because now there's somebody that's going back and recognizing without this middle ground here, without the experiences that come to make something grow, you're skipping a couple steps. You're skipping the good part. You know, because you could sit up there on the throne, but it's so much more fun to be in the experience. But I feel like there is somebody who's maybe feels like a fish out of water, or maybe they have to go into unknown territory, be willing to explore the depths of how they feel. This is usually someone who's really romantic or desires to have romance in their life, a true connection. If that knight is upside down, it's like that knight in shining armor with a little too much armor on. You know, you're not going to get too hot and sassy with all that going on covering you up. So even if that's just an energetic cover up, there's still that block kind of thing. It's somebody that can woo you, you know, to the depths of the ocean, but then you're like, look, you're like, I thought we were going to the bottom of the ocean together. Where the heck they go? And they're like, not there. Someone that can make somebody believe that they're all in, but then they never dive in. But it looks like here, somebody wants to dive in. Somebody wants to experience. Somebody is desiring to take a step towards growth. And I feel like a lot of that happens maybe individually, self-growth first, but I definitely feel like somebody's coming into the picture, and then there's continuous growth together. Let's get one final one, but I'm just gonna see what's at the bottom. We're gonna go for what is the undertone, the foundational energy, and the final message to be helpful right now. Please and thank you. Final message for the collective today. Card stop. The Six of Cups. It's making memories. It's that energy of nostalgia that I saw before. It's somebody reminiscing about their past. Maybe past partnerships that were weird as hell or did not work out, or how they were not their true self in past partnerships. And maybe there was one coming in, or somebody they met where they could be their true self, where those are the memories they want to focus on. It's seeing where somebody's focusing on their past. It's also a soulmate energy for me, and this is also tapping into your inner child, connecting with children, or just playing like you're a kid. If you meet somebody that you're really in love with, you're going to always feel like your kids playing together. And this could be somebody looking at old love letters, or love letters that they wrote and were never sent. Could be somebody looking at all of the experiences they have had from the past and how far they have come where they are now. How whatever would come in now, they'd handle differently than when they were 12 or 24 or 48 or 68, however far back somebody is looking. This is sometimes a gift, but if this is overly focused on what was, what never will be, what could have been, what did I just hear? Debbie Gibson or Tiffany? Could have been so beautiful, could have been so right, could have been my lover every day of my life. Wow, I think that's Tiffany, and I was starting the wrong key. Just ignore that first part. We're going way back to my childhood. It was one of the first tapes I ever owned. I don't know why Tiffany gave me goosies. Maybe somebody's like, it could have been so good, but what good is it without the experience? What good is it keeping yourself in the past when you have so much more beauty that could come? What is it over reflecting on what could be and not paying attention to the exact step you're on? Because right now, today, when you begin, whatever you do, whoever you connect to, is making the memories now. Where you are now, you don't have the past, you don't have the future, you only have now. So be in the now. So if you don't feel like you're in the now, if you wish you were somewhere else, if you wish you would started something, now is the time to start. Don't procrastinate, don't hold yourself back, believe in yourself. Start to do something that you're into, that makes your heart sing. Because right now, you're already making the memories you may or may not like tomorrow. So why not choose to make something you're proud of tonight? If you look back on yesterday and you're like, that was so good, thank God I did that today. What can I do now? Six of Cups. I also feel like there's something beautiful about the Six of Cups, because even if it's romance, even if it's your person, your lover, you have a hot time together, it has a foundation of friendship. It has a soul connection. It has a sweetness and an innocence about it that it's like that nautilus shell I saw. It makes something more well-rounded than just having good chemistry or connecting with each other intellectually. It has that soul bond behind it. And it's usually something that feels pretty meaningful. And if this is that energy I saw before where somebody is worried, because I'm getting children now, and sometimes the page is a child. And if somebody is worried that maybe there's some transition, or, you know, adaptation or something where children are involved, I feel like they just need the love to be felt, especially if they're gifted somebody new in their life, whoever that is. That could be a teacher, that could be a new family member, that could be like your brother or sister's, you know, new spouse, could be even like a new baby. But to have an extra person that you are letting in because you are in this energy of connecting to the right vibes and disconnecting from the weirdos in the masks, those vibes are just going to add more love to everyone's life all over. And I feel like maybe that's what needs to be cherished, focused on, and trusted in. I hope that was helpful. I hope this reading made sense to you and something came through that was beneficial for you. Thank you so much. The bugs are starting to bite me a little bit. So I'm going to take Rose and we're going to go inside. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. If you think that this message would be helpful, I would appreciate a thumbs up to get it out there to who it could help, or to just show your appreciation or that you enjoyed this video. I love you so much. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you for being part of my soul family. Thank you for, I feel like I'm connected to such special people. And I truly appreciate you. I feel like you have been a gift from God for all of us. So thank you for being here. I'll love you and I'll see you soon. Bye.